Right, third attempt. Let's try this again, shall we? I've tried this numerous times now. I had one loaded up and then all the videos got mixed up. They weren't responding to what I was saying. Recording in the background, put it that way. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, 1990s VW Polo bread van, they call it. It's basically like a base model. As you can see, it's been kind of rat looked in a way, in a sense. It had those blue wheels, as you can see on the corner there, where my lovely cup of tea is. It had those wheels on. We changed it to steels because it's just going to look better. We're going to put some original bumpers back on as well. But as you can see, just busy taking parts off to get the process going, getting the gearbox and stuff swapped over. Yeah, first and second was gone. Yeah, first and second's gone. We used that. So in the last couple of weeks, I managed to find some what do you call it, another gearbox to put it in that's actually got all 4 gears, because before I just did them 4 in reverse. First and second was gone. So yeah, I'm at the moment just pulling all the spark plugs out. Not spark plugs, coil packs, not coil packs, ignition leads, there we go, with the distributor cap and the rotor and so on. Get them all off, it's all going to get replaced. Old stuff, it's time to get some new stuff on it. Yeah, so that's all going to get done. Yeah, let's see how far we get on this one, shall we? Right, as you can see, there's a bit of music in the background for you, just to kind of see what I was doing. I was literally not doing much, just literally going up and down to get all the bolts I needed. The rest of this video has been cut off before. I don't know what happened to the camera, what I was doing, but I cut half of the video off. So the next one will just basically show where I've already gone underneath, taken the, what do you call it, empty the radiators and stuff like that, empty the water out of the radiator, coolant and stuff to get that out. Here I'm kind of just trying to figure out to get the drive shaft and so on out, because I need to come out so I can get gearbox out, obviously. As you can see there, it's still dripping, and by this time it's night time. Do this all the time, work my ass off, and then come back home and work on the cars left, right and centre. But yeah, as you'll see now that the video will go a lot quicker. We'll just flash through the few bits, then you'll see what I'm doing. I've literally just found a way of, well, I needed to find a way of holding the brake pads or the wheel steady so I could undo the hex screws on the drive shaft. So I was just messing about to see what was the best way of doing it. Yeah, so eventually I managed to find a way around it, which got the bolts into the hubs. Where is it? Come on. Yeah, there I was still trying to figure out what to do with that. Yeah, trying to do kind of a two-man job as a one-man thing, especially if you on the driveway with jack stands and trying to figure out how on God's earth am I going to do this. And then I realised there must be an easy way of sorting that out, because any way I was trying to figure out, it just wouldn't work. So I managed to have a rethink of how I'm gonna do it. By there I'm still trying to figure out how to get that thing off. It was the right bit in the end. It was quite a few, I think 1 or 2 attempts to get the right bit to go in. But yeah, not having enough space is kind of annoying. Yeah, and I think I was around about here where I kind of realized that I can use that ratchet to hold onto the hub itself, and then that will then basically create a lever section kind of thing to hold the hub in place. So when I undo the hex bolts, if you call them hex bolts, to undo it, I think it was quite a few attempts that I managed to get it sorted out, because I think it worked 1 or 2 and then it started slipping again, and then it started working for all of them. But yeah, and then I managed to get them all loose, and then it came towards the end of the hub. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep myself quiet for now, and then have some bit more background music until we get to the driver's side. as you can see, about half the video has been cut off again. I don't know what's going on. I need to look into a better camera. If anyone knows any decent cameras around, just drop me a message. I'll have a look into what space cameras to use. I'll need something that I can pick up very quickly and it can stabilize its own on its own accord, but I need something on a kind of mid-range. I don't want to spend too much money just yet, and eventually we'll hopefully get a friend or someone that's nearby that will be a cameraman. Basically, they'll just walk me around. I don't have to constantly do this, but this will probably take a year or two before we get to that point. But yeah, if anyone's got a comment on cameras and what's the best thing, let me know. Yeah, so at the moment we're just trying to get the drive shaft out completely on the passenger side. There I'm like a monkey trying to jack the thing up. The jack's not the best, but it does the job. I managed to find a way of getting the drive shaft out just enough to drop it on one side. Once the side was dropped down, went over to the driver's side to start taking that side off. Yeah, I had to redo this video because other one got messed up. But yeah, there's me realizing there's a few more stuff in the way. That stops me from taking things out that needed to be taken out. I've probably missed out quite a fair bit of stuff, especially there was so much stuff in here that was on the screen that was missed out, which would have been probably a lot better to see and more interesting to see. Do apologise, but hey, that's what happens when you do not have the greatest equipment to do stuff. But yeah, that's just me fiddling down with a couple more bolts on the front. Just trying to get some of this out on the one side, because it's kind of tricky. Well, and not, at least it's a 1 litre, it's not too big of an engine to take out and take apart. Not engine, split the two apart to get that done. The camera did die again once again after this video, so I'll load up some pictures you can see after I had the gearbox out, because I just carried on. Once I'm stuck in, didn't realise the camera died, and it's only when I actually got the gearbox out and trying to celebrate realised that the camera died, and I had no warning anyway. But yeah, so still busy getting bolts and stuff off that's needed, and we should be able to shortly after this go towards the driver's side. Yeah, hanger, exhaust hanger, busy currently taking that off. It's got original exhaust on, but it's been patched quite a few times by welds and stuff, and it's leaking through every single weld. So it is being replaced by a original again, but which one's actually fixed. Oh, steady mate. Yeah, so yeah, we are back of the car. Just so you can see, well, on the driver's side, but I'm on the back of the car getting the rear box, back box off, which doesn't really, it sounds alright, but it doesn't really suit this car in my opinion. So yeah, that will be swapped over to original one that actually fits nicely. As you can see, just dropped the whole system down. It's one complete unit. I think there was a split halfway, I can't remember on top of my head, but the other original one I have did have a split halfway, so you can put one section on and then slide the other section on. Yeah, and that actually allowed me to get more access to the necessary bolt that was there and the rest of the drive shafts, which you'll see in a minute. You'll have some more background music playing in the background again, just so you can see. And I've done the same trick by having the ratchet on the one side to get all the bolts off. Alright, as you can see on the picture, radiator's on. I put it on a previous picture. That's the old gearbox that's been taken out. Old gearbox, I believe. I think new clutch, old clutch pressure plate, new and old clutch. That's the second-hand gearbox is going back in. I did clean it up, put it back in. Video again died. Old clutch. I thought I did have a picture of the new clutch fitted in, but obviously not. Alright, so yeah, video lost for what do you call it? Video's been lost to show that I had the gearbox, so that's why I've got a couple of pictures on this so you can have a look and see what's going on. I thought I had more pictures, but I must have deleted them or lost them somewhere along the line. As you can see, I was taking the straps off. That's how I managed to hold the engine up, and I only realized that when I took the gearbox out, the engine was unstable. But anyway, you learn as you go along. Got the gearbox back in, got it, tried to start it up, it wouldn't start. Tested it that morning, found out that the gearbox has got a slightly notch, which is, I think it came off the newer model, and the notch inside I had to smooth that out a tiny bit, just so that the flywheel can actually freely turn inside the gearbox, because it was holding the flywheel on and I wasn't allowing the engine to turn over. But we managed to get it done. I got the gearbox back in after a struggle for must have been an hour and a half or something, and then by that time I got the camera up and running again, and that's just where we are now. So yeah, so I got everything in, started plumbing and everything back together. I don't know if I had the rain. No, I don't have the radiator in by then. But yeah, it's just because I want to test it to make sure it was running. No, I don't have the radiator. You can see the expansion tank's not in. But yeah, trying to get all the bolts in place, start motor back in again, and all that kind of things. Getting everything in, basically the gearbox mounted back onto the engine, because that was the main issue on that side of things. Yeah, and then we just carried on. I'll put some more weird sound music in the background for you lot. Alright, as you can see on not previous clip, you would have seen that I was doing all the bolts up underneath to make sure it's all secure. Checked all the, because I had to take it all out the day before, well, that morning, which didn't have the camera up and running. But yeah, I just double check and make sure everything's back in, so I can plug it all back in, test it again to make sure the engine's turning over after the slight modification I had to do to get it to run better, or actually start, put it that way. Yeah, I know there's quite a few vacuum lines missing, which will get replaced eventually. This video is a couple of weeks old. But yeah, we're getting there slowly, bit by bit. We'll get there eventually and get some decent things going. But yeah, once again, if you know of any decent cameras or some average cameras that's going, or what you guys suggest, give me a shout, and we'll take it from there, and we'll catch you in a bit.